To the panel discussion, and joining me in studio now we have Nairobi County Speaker Madam Beatrice Elachi. Good morning and thank you for joining us. We also have Suna East Member of Parliament Junet Mohammed. Thank you for joining us this morning. And well, let's start off with it's been a very busy week politically speaking, and it looks like it's going to be a busy period between now and the 17th, if not even after. But let's start with you, Madam Beatrice Elachi, on your thoughts on well, yesterday what was trending was Ngunjiri Wambugu's petition of having to oust the CJ. Your thoughts on that move? And well, there are those who feel that maybe it's positioned by Jubilee.
First of all, you'll forgive me because indeed I will not discuss this Wambugu because I think people are joking with our country. And I don't think we want to talk about it in a Jubilee format. I want to talk about it
as an individual.
As an individual, because I believe he has his right. But I just want to ask, Jubilee cannot be crazy to give Wambugu. If you wanted a petition, you'll be smart enough. You can't give Wambugu because the country has reached a point where if you look, it is Kikuyu, I don't know. You know, I like being candid. So there's no way Jubilee can do such a funny move. It is Wambugu himself, which I appreciate. But I also want to ask Wambugu whether he's a clear politician, he understands politics. Is it the right move? I mean, how do you leave our president to meet my Kisi brothers and sisters, to have a very good conversation with them, and the next morning you come in with your petition and you say, Jubilee? No way. I mean, Wambugu is trying to play his game, which is a very wrong game. And anyway, you know, when I look at this ruling, I've been also looking at it. You know, it's good to look and then you ask yourselves a few questions. You will be angry with whatever it is because you're human. But in the end of the day, you know what I said? God just saved Kenya on that day. That we did not split. I mean, that country just got hold. God just said, Kenya is my country, and I'm not going to allow these people. And maybe in the wisdom, yes, there will be a lot of questions that one day also CJ will answer himself. But in the wisdom, that there was an opportunity where the country toned down. Because if it was the opposite, maybe we would have seen hell in Kenya. Break loose. Maybe we would have seen people burning things for nothing. But thank God we never burned anything. And therefore we should thank God for that, regardless of how that ruling. And I'm saying this, knowing very well my president is human. He felt pain. But at the same time, some of these things we have to look beyond us. We have to ask ourselves, where was 40 million Kenyans? You know, we are playing with a game with politicians. And I always say this, Gitonga. Politicians in the world, and mostly in Africa, I think we've gone beyond what we have to think about. Because when I look at Trump and Hillary, and I looked at what happened, but America moved on.
It remained intact and continued.
Now, if that ruling was not done in that wisdom, we would have seen evil happening in our country.
All right, let me
as much as I know it was, I will speak with it. I always say, as I finalize, that, and I want to thank Junet is here. We sat on the select committee in Mensa. Sometimes, some of these things we are feeling pain in it. And I remember one of his proposals, we were just speaking there, was that let former Prime Minister bring 3, and Uhuru bring 4 commissioners, and we finish this game. Do you know, I wish we did that, because even if former Prime Minister would have brought the brother and Uhuru bring, as long as whoever wins, we would have asked them one question. Want your people in that thing? So what are you asking us? It would have been the best. So that proposal he gave us, and we felt it was a crazy proposal.
But now with hindsight, it looks like it may have had a lot of sense. Junet, your comments on Ngunjiri's move.
Thank you.
We have some people from NASA saying that it's actually Jubilee doing that behind the scenes. What are your thoughts on it?
Thank you, Michael. First, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate my colleague for being elected as the Speaker
Thank you,
of the City's Assembly.
Right.
It's not like any other assembly. It's the assembly of the city of Kenya.
I know.
It is really a parliament of its own.
Very challenging.
Very challenging. I've not met her since her election, and we've worked with her in the last parliament very closely. Secondly, this is a Jubilee agenda. It's very clear. You know, Michael, you know we are all members of parliament. There are certain moves you cannot do without consulting your party and the party leadership. This is an enormous task that was given to Mbugu Ngunjiri. There are issues that you cannot just pick up because these are issues of national importance. Removing Chief Justice from office is not a child's play. It's something that needs to be done proper.
But an individual could also take that
up on their own. Could do, an individual on his own right, you know, a Kenyan can do. But when you see a leader, a member of parliament doing, most likely chances are high that it has been sanctioned by his leadership and his party. And this is not the first time Ngunjiri has done this kind of tricks in this country. He's been known for doing this kind of tricks. Yesterday I was traveling to Bomet around 11 o'clock. I met him at Wilson Airport. And the president was going to Nyeri to open the show. And he was waiting for the president there to travel with him to Nyeri so that they can open the show together. I don't think the president will have traveled with him if he just delivered a petition at the Supreme Court and went straight to Wilson to wait for the president to go and travel with him so they can open the show. So for you,
the circumstances surround circumstantial evidence, as it were.
Let me give him the benefit of doubt. Maybe he was traveling with him because he's the area member of parliament.
Correct.
The show was happening in Nyeri town. But the president should have kept him aside for some time, having done that kind of... And then, you know, another thing, it is very clear that our brothers in Jubilee are very annoyed with Maraga. And they didn't expect him to, you know, to do the ruling that he did. And, you know, this ruling is not Maraga's ruling. This is the Supreme Court's ruling. It was done by 4 judges. I don't know why it is being put as though it is Maraga who has done the ruling. He's just about, if we do something in Parliament today, for example, it's not the Speaker doing it. It is a resolution of Parliament. You know, we vote and we agree as members of Parliament. We either win or lose. It doesn't become the Speaker's agenda. It becomes now the Parliament's agenda. So it was a Supreme Court's ruling what happened. So I can tell you for sure that Jubilee is not happy with Maraga, and they could go to any length to either remove him from office, you know, get rid of him. You remember, they've said that when we win the election, we are going to fix the Supreme Court. We know there are issues there.
Although the president did mention when he met the Abagusi leaders that he was just, you know, annoyed like everybody else would be. Yeah. And he said that he respects the institution. I agree.
You obviously, a judgment cannot make 2 sides happy. It will make one side happy, another side unhappy. But there are limits that you can go with your frustrations and your happiness. Yeah, you cannot go beyond the borders. If the president criticizes the ruling, he says that they did not consider the will of the people of Kenya, you know, he doesn't agree with them, but he respects the ruling, and that's not the way to do things, we can accept. But there are certain things he said.
Okay, and maybe it would be befitting for us to listen into...
Before we listen, I just want to tell Mheshimiwa, you know, you are human. And you're a politician. And I believe if anyone plays around in Suna, he sees he has won and he's just denied, I believe he'll be so angry. And he'll be human. That anger will come out. And one of the things we try to put on our president is to try and think the president is not human. He has to take everything as it comes. One thing I appreciate about my President Uhuru Kenyatta is that he's honest in anything he does. He doesn't pretend. He doesn't pretend to you that today he's smiling with you, Mheshimiwa, but in the other way he's about to just stab you. He shows you, I am me. You will love me the way or hate me, but I've expressed
my sincere
feeling. And in the end, he finishes and moves on like any other person. He doesn't carry it for ventures for a long while.
Okay, and let's just hear what he had to say because, well, it elicited a lot of reaction from all and sundry. And let's just listen into what he had to say. I
must be honest with you, because if I am not honest, then I am not a human being. Ni kuwaficha na waficha. Umeibiwa mchana, unaona mchana. MCA ndio hapa. You know, hata afadhali wangeenda waseme, jameni, hii masanduku tuje tupeleke Kasarani Stadium, tufungue, tuhesabu. Unaona jameni?
Lakini kwa sababu kuna kichwa ya mtu ambaye hataki kuongea sera ya kufanya kazi, anataka kuongea sera ya chuki. Unajua hawa wanapiga ule kwa sababu ni Mkisii. Sisi ndio serikali tumeweka Maraga ofisini.
Junet Mohammed, this was obviously, especially from the Deputy President there, an attack on NASA in regards to what he would term as almost forever never being satisfied with anything, forever complaining, forgetting what is the main agenda, what is it that NASA represents or is bringing on board to the country, other than complaints.
First, I want to correct the Deputy President. He say, sisi serikali ndio tumeweka Maraga kazi.
True.
Serikali haikuweka Maraga kazi. Maraga was vetted by an independent institution called Judicial Service Commission. And they looked at his papers, his career, the way he has done things, the way he has served the judiciary, and he qualified and merited, and his name was forwarded to the president and then brought to parliament for vetting, and that's how he got his job. Nobody has put, Maraga is not a cabinet secretary for agriculture, who was just appointed with a piece of paper signed by the president or the deputy president. The deputy president doesn't sign the president. So that he needs to be corrected first. He never employed Maraga in this country. Secondly, when we say they want to remove the Chief Justice from office because of the ruling he has made, he or she, that is not fitira. That is not dividing people. It's the truth. When you say we are going to fix the court after we win, when you say Supreme Court judges ni wakora, when you say that they have not done ruling, they were bribed, they were not, they never did the will of the people of Kenya. The issue now they are raising of taking ballot boxes to Kasarani, their lawyers should have asked for it. Actually, it is us who asked for scrutiny. And part of the scrutiny we were asking for is to count ballot papers, for example. But the court granted us the one to read the servers, which they refused to give us, and other things. But if part of the scrutiny was to recount the votes and going to Kasarani, we were ready for it. So this issue is, it's not the way Jubilee is trying to take it. It's that they're going to the wrong direction. The best solution for them is to allow now IEBC to reform itself, conduct new elections according to the constitutions. Because the Supreme Court ruling said they need to conduct fresh elections within the confines of the constitution and the dictates of the constitution. There were issues they raised. They said irregularities and illegalities. In fact, I can forgive IEBC on irregularities. Irregularities can be acts of omissions and commission, they can rectify. But when a court says they were illegalities, those are criminal offenses that happened within the IEBC. Illegalities. An illegal affair happened within the IEBC.
Within the IEBC. We'll come to the IEBC in just a bit. Madam Beatrice Elachi, do you agree with some of the things that the president said? Because it feels like it is an attack on the institution of the judiciary.
I don't think there's any attack on the institution. And I think, as I said, he expressed his sincerity, and that is what he said. But I just want to tell Mheshimiwa here, not that because it is Uhuru on the throne, that you stand and tell Kenyans in the morning that the president never employed or never agreed or signed for the Chief Justice. The Constitution is very clear. You're given 2 names. He would have decided any other name. So if Maraga employed himself, I want to see him tell Kenyans that I signed for myself and I saw in for myself and I started working. Let us not go that route. Let us be honest on how the Constitution is. It is regardless. Whether we like Uhuru Kenyatta, he's the president at that time, he signed for Maraga to become the CJ. He had 2 names, names that they had passed from Parliament themselves.
Only one name, Senator.
I want you to go and read.
Can I just explain that one for you? 3 names were sent to the president, we went to Parliament, National Assembly, we changed the law. We said that now 3 names should be sent to the president for appointment of Chief Justice. After we passed the law, Judicial Service Commission went to court and declared that provision unconstitutional, and only one name was submitted to the president for appointment. But the president had the liberty to reject it. It's the same one name.
Good.
Still, it is the same Judicial Service Commission that will have brought...
But bottom line here, being that he had to sign.
Yes, being that he has to receive this name and say, I am okaying what the commission has done. And if not, he can return it to... And since I don't want to talk about it, because politicians, we are very interesting. Today we are here. We are some with Maraga, and I just want to tell my CJ, we are very interesting animals. In a few years, again, if you find yourself in another way, they will forget completely what they said, and they will attack you. You'll be wondering whether it is the same side. Just the way we gave leeway to Chapukati and everything in the beginning. Nobody knew it will come to turn again in that manner we are in now. So politicians, we are just a very interesting animal. As long as it is our interest you're touching, we will come for you. We will eat you as an animal, the way it eats somebody. So I just want to say, for the sake of the country and the unity of the presidency, which I believe my brother is pushing for my former prime minister to be, I will wonder whether you will want the former prime minister to arrive and have such scenarios. I believe you will do or die on the same matter. So let us respect that presidency. It is us Kenyans who have given that authority for the president to exercise and ensure everyone is in office according to this constitution.
All right.
And we must respect that.
All right. I want us to take a short break. It's now 28 minutes after 7. And remember, you're welcome to participate in this conversation on Twitter, as we will give you those Twitter handles as we carry on. For now, we take a short break, but we'll be right back and look at some of the things that have been happening, politically speaking, and where we are as a country.